The iconic Manila Central Post Office was engulfed by fire last May 21, resulting in a major loss to the Philippines. The fire reached the general alarm, affecting the major part of the building. According to the Manila Fire Station, the fire started in the building's basement past 11 p.m. and was declared under control at 7 a.m. The fire lasted for almost 30 hours. Based on initial estimates, the fire damage was 300 million pesos worth of properties. After an investigation, the Bureau of Fire Protection said a car battery stored with office supplies and thinners exploded and caused the fire that destroyed the 97-year-old building. The post office was built in 1926 by renowned architects Tomas Mapua, Juan Marcos Arellano, and Ralph Tone. Heritage advocates grieve the loss of one of the country's notable landmarks, but Manila Mayor Honey Lacuna Pangan assured the public that the local government would work with the national government to restore the building. The National Cultural Heritage Act of 2009 seeks to preserve and protect historic sites that are over 50 years old. In 2018, the Manila Post Office was declared an important cultural property due to its exceptional cultural, artistic, and historic significance to the country. Despite having such law, critics claim the government has failed to preserve a number of Philippine heritage infrastructure. In a country grappling with limited resources and issues affecting the delivery of basic services, it seems that accidents like the Manila Post Office are not the only threats to heritage sites. Given these realities, the Flame asks, what measures should be undertaken to promote cultural conservation?
What I can say is, we have to respect these properties. No? For example, turista ka, pupunta ka sa isang tourist spot, tourist area, na ang kinikater is a built heritage, we have to respect that place. No? So yung simpleng hindi ka maglilitter or you will not vandalize these properties, no? Makaka-contribute siya to prolong the life of this property. It's through its interpretation. Kaya there are cases, cultural heritage, ipinapart siya as part of its tourism. So para ano mo siya, yung interpretation ng site. So doon mo siya i-explain, especially kung may mga tourist ka, no? So, ano ba yung importance niyan? So para ma-convey mo kung ano yung message nung kung ano meron dyan sa isang property na yan, no? So, hindi lang siya yung structure itself, yung meanings na kakibat niya, dapat na i-convey mo yan dun sa mga taong pupunta dyan, tumitingin dyan, something like that.
No, every day, the things that you do, whether the very traditional, the very contemporary, all of these are Filipino culture, no? And culture is organic. It will always evolve. Now, when you talk about heritage, then maybe the way you value your culture, that's already heritage. And if you like to value it more, then use it every day. You don't put heritages inside museums. The best way to conserve heritage is to use it every day. So, it's a matter of how do you value this. Maybe the best thing is when you do your studies, try to put an iota of appreciation to your history. History, of course, is the written chronological document, no, of the past to the present to the future. So if you have an appreciation of history, then I think it will deepen also your appreciation of the everyday things that you do and that you have. You will have a better appreciation, no, of all these maybe practices and the knowledges that you have as heritage, because it really emanates from the past. And how will you interpret this into the future? Then it's really how you will be able to, how do you interpret this in your discipline?
How can a financially challenged government strike a balance between providing the basic needs of the people and allowing enough resources for heritage preservation?
The lead agency who's doing that is the National Commission for the Culture and the Arts, no? They are the one tasked for the declaration. At the same time, di rin natin maiwasan, they are request for the listing of cultural properties, no? So they are the lead agencies. And at the same time, we also have our other cultural agencies like the National Museum, the National Historical Commission. No, so we have several agencies involved in the preservation of our cultural heritage, no? Meron siya mga values na kaakibat. That's why we really need to conserve these properties for us to pass it on to future generations, no? Kasi this is something that identifies us, no? Kung wala ang post office, ano ang Manila? 'Di ba? It's part of its identity. 'Di ba? That area was I believe part of the parang during the American period na ma-modernize yung city during that time. And it's part of its history. After the fire incident, many called for it to be rehabilitated, maisaayos ulit. Because for them, this is something that is important for them. May mga stakeholders kasi nakikinabang din sa property na yan, no? So, yes, it is still relevant up to this day. Kaya nga protected sila ng batas ngayon. We have the heritage law to protect these properties.
If they follow the authorized heritage discourse, it is authorized, meaning the Declaration of National Cultural Heritages emanate from that ascribed role because they are the authorities. Doesn't necessarily mean that it is the community, but they are the authorities. So, parang it is upon their role that they have to decide heritage for the people. I would tend to believe they would really like to do good conservation work, but it's just that the system won't allow them to do it. You put together a robust conservation management plan. The moment you identify a heritage structure and you feel that it's a conservation, it is a heritage site, structure, or a component of an ensemble, then you must be able to first secure it. Syempre, try to secure the whole building, and then at the same time, try to establish what's the significance, what makes it a heritage. Because it's from the significance wherein you will be able to evaluate what will be the key steps, no, for its conservation. When you establish the significance, you have to have a very, very deep and a very, very strong grounding on its history. History in terms of the structure, history in terms of the timeline, history. There are many approaches to establishing that history. So you can do the physical, the oral, and the archival investigation.